Right, I'm going to change the universal joint, this one here. You can hear it clicking there, it needs changing. One of the things about it, I've jacked the whole vehicle up, all wheels all round, so that if I turn the wheel like that, then I can turn the prop shaft and get at all the bolts quite easily. I think what you've got to do is mark the positions of where on the flange where the you can see the grease nipple there and the grease nipple there, all of those, put a mark on it so that it always goes back on the same place, front and back. So the grease nipple is there, make sure put a mark on the flange so that everything goes back on correctly. And because these grease nipples, although they're small, they do make a difference on the balance, and you can see the welded on there, the patches there which give the balance when the prop shaft is manufactured. Right, the next stage is to take off all four, mark it, and then take off all the bolts on the back, and then all the bolts up the front, take the whole prop shaft out. Then I'll show you the next stage. Now we've got it off, you can see the extent of you can see how it's totally shot away, and it's too much rough riding. Now in here, if you look at the circlips, there's 4 of these circlips, and obviously they've been in a long time, probably from this Land Rover from new, and you can see I'll clean out all of that. I'll put a bit of lubricant in there, but this is usually tight against that, and with a drift, with a punch, or just drift it and it'll push it in, but don't do it too much, just enough to free it off, and I'll squirt a bit of lubricant on there to ease things. That's the circlip pliers on, and just lift it out. When everything's clear, you can go in and clear all the grooves out so that the new circlip will. Now with all the circlips off, what I've got to do now is put a drift on and knock that until the one below protrudes enough for me to grip into the vise. See how there it is, protruding. As you can see, that's the first one. Now I've got to put it into the vise, grip it onto there, and then tap it and pull that out, that cup out. Both the ends have been thoroughly cleaned now, and you can see on this I've used something to clean out. You see how surprised how much dirt comes out of that groove that the circlip goes into. Give them a good clean, and ready. I've got the new components all ready to go in there. Throw away the old circlips. The kit should come with new ones. Give this now a degrease and lubricate it, ready to receive the new cups. I'll show you them. If you take off the cups and just make sure that all the needle rollers there are intact and in place, take one of them and push it in partially, and then push it in partially into the spider, and you'll see that you can then get this into it and push that and start that one off, push it into there, and then we'll now push this one in and then put it into the vise and squeeze it up, and then now with the cups in, that's the first one. This has just got to be tapped now until you just get it level with the groove. Don't tap it any further than you have to, because it might affect it, but tap this one in bit at a time. My vise doesn't, you can press it in with the vise, but my vise doesn't open enough, so I'm putting it onto a flat surface, just tapping it gently until it's all well lubricated. That's the circlip in on one side, just to press it down and it will click in to the groove. That's it, it's just clicked in, and that's all well lubricated, ready to do the next stage, which is put this onto both squeezed in the vise. I've just got, obviously when you push them in, this gap will seal up, and I'm bringing it There's the rear prop shaft back in place. All the grease nipples line up, everything tightened and re-greased everything while it was out, and ready to go and road test.